Again, we'll start with our student athletes. We'll have about 15 minutes for a Q&A with them, and then we'll move on to the coach. We'd like to start us off with a question for our student athletes.
This is for both players. You've had an opportunity to take a look at Ohio State. Just some impressions on what kind of team you're going to be facing tomorrow.
Obviously a great team led by two great guards. Push the ball in transition. They're a lot different team than we are, and I think that something that we're going to bring that they're not used to facing is the style of defense that we play in the SEC, and as well as just Florida defense. That's going to really hopefully give them some problems.
For the post players, obviously, I've been watching them, just trying to get out in transition on the post players. But like Jordan said, they're a great team, and so we're just preparing for them.
Jordan, you said style of defense. What is that style of defense?
Pressure, really physical, tough. We want to make it a long 40 minutes for them. There's not going to be anything easy, not any cuts, no easy shots. Just really, I don't think the Big Ten in general plays that kind of defense, so we're excited about giving them that challenge.
Jordan, I think you in particular are probably going to get a pretty good close look at Sammy Morales. What have you noticed about her, seen asked of her impressions?
She's obviously a great player, one of the best point guards in the country. And telling people, I think she plays a little bit kind of maybe like an and-one player, tries to embarrass you a little bit. But like I said, the guards, the pressure that she's going to face tomorrow is going to be a lot different than the pressure she's faced all season long.
Ladies, for both of you, please, will you talk a little bit about the making it to the NCAA tournament? There was a time where you had a losing record in the league, and it was not a done deal, obviously, to get here. Will you talk a little bit about that route to making it here?
Yeah, sure. For myself, I was here my freshman year, so for me, it was just trying to infuse our team, get us ready, knew that we were a good enough team to be here. Also, our losses were only by like 4 or 5 points, and playing in the toughest conference, SEC, was such a big game every game, playing Tennessee, playing Kentucky, winning big games against Georgia. So I think we did what we needed to do to prove to the committee that we should be here, which we are.
Players, if Ohio State was very surprised to see its seeding, maybe yours came as a surprise or not. Were you surprised to see Ohio State come up next to your name?
I don't think we were too worried about who we were going to play. Just seeing our name on the screen, that's what we were looking for, and we were going to be ready for Ohio State or whoever else it was going to be as the seed against us.
What are you guys' thoughts on possibly playing, a neutral site game with a lot of Ohio State people being here since they're only a couple hours away?
It's just exciting anyway, but we've played at big arenas, big crowds, so I don't really think that's going to affect us that much. So playing at Tennessee, a packed house on senior night is going to do anything for us.
Jordan, in looking at some of the post-bracket selection day things, I read that you guys were like one of the last 4 teams in. Did you realize that it was that close for you guys to even get in the tournament?
Yeah, I heard the same things you guys heard, I guess, but like I tell people all along, our record's 19-12, but that's no indication of how good we are. We lost 10 games by 6 points or less. There's no doubt in my mind we're one of the top 25 teams in the country, and you hear a lot about Ohio State being an 8 seed. Well, honestly, we're not a 9 seed. We are a 9 seed, but we're a lot better than that. So, it was just, it's surprising that we were in the last 4 in, but like I said, we're just glad to be in.
Jordan, you talked about close losses you've had this year. A lot of times teams will win some of those games and get them over a hump. You lost those games. What has that done for you? Does it still make you a tough, gritty team? What does that do for you?
We're battle tested. You know, we have a lot of confidence in each other with 5 seniors especially, and this being an NCAA tournament, this is our last go around. So, you know, close losses or not, that's just tested us for where we are now. I think it's made us a lot closer as a team when you face that kind of adversity. So we're definitely just excited to get out there and go at it one more time tomorrow.
Zenny, I asked the Ohio State people this too, but I mean, you're here, you've got Ohio State. Is it hard not to look beyond that and think of the possibility of playing Baylor and Brittany Griner and those guys?
I mean, yeah, but if you don't win your Ohio State game, you don't get there. So basically for us, I think we've been focusing so much on Ohio State, we haven't even thought about Baylor. We'll get there once we get past Ohio State, you know. So if you don't win that game, you don't go on. Yeah.
Any other questions for Azania and Jordan? Okay. Ladies, anything else that you'd like to add?
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Thank you
Do
very
we leave?
much.
I think so.
Do we leave?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I wanted to hear.
I'll do okay. I'll do well.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, who wants to start it off with Coach Butler?
Coach, your players talked about going through the SEC and what that means and what the rigors of that are like. How well does that prepare a team for what you face now?
You know, I think it makes our kids really confident. Our league is good year in and year out. I don't think there's any question about that. But this year in particular, there was great parity, from top to bottom. And, I think the thing that makes the SEC so unique, maybe from some of the other power leagues, is, we've got a great top of our league, but you can go to the middle, and then you can go past the middle on down into the bottom, and you're going to find a team that's pretty much capable of playing with just about anybody any night. And so I think our team takes great pride in preparing well. Always have great respect for our opponents, and I think a lot of that comes from what we face every Thursday and Sunday in league play. And to kind of steal Jordan's word, I think it does make you very battle tested, regardless of what the outcomes are.
Coach, your kids talked about your defense, and they seem unafraid of anybody they're playing. But again, is the SEC defense, you think, better than what the Ohio State team has seen in the Big Ten?
I think it's different. I'd be silly for me to say that it's better. I just think it's different. There's some different styles that you see in the Big Ten, maybe some trends in that league and some trends that you see in the SEC. But again, I think we have a great league that's very athletic, it's very physical, it's very talented, very well-coached teams. And I think you do see a lot of teams, that pride themselves on their defense and their pressure, the speed at which they can play and that sort of thing. And not saying that the Big Ten doesn't, but I think there are some differences when you put the two leagues side by side and look at the way the teams play. But I think we tend to, as a league, think we play some pretty good defense, some pretty aggressive defense, and I think our teams, those two in particular's comments, reflect that pride.
Coach, defending against.
Let's go with Jack
Who's going?
Carl at the end there.
Coach, you played at Bowling Green back in the 90s.
Cool.
Could you give your impression, anything you remember from that game? And then that was in Anderson Arena, and this is a new building. You've been able to see this. Maybe your impressions of the Strossen.
Oh, this place is beautiful. I haven't gotten to get out on the floor yet, but just driving past it last night and, just walking through the halls as you're getting to our locker room, it's an amazing facility that Bowling Green obviously should be very proud of. A little different than the venue that I remember a few years back, but we haven't talked too much about the historical significance. That was our first NCAA appearance, and we were able to squeak out a win against a very, very good Bowling Green team. But it's neat. It's kind of neat to be back here, and I think this time of year, you want to play in a place where girls and women's basketball is important, and I think that Bowling Green is one of those places, and so it makes it fun.
Coach, in defending Ohio State, does it start with prowess and perhaps with pressure wearing her down?
I don't know if you can wear her down or not. You know, as much as I've watched her play, it seems that tends to go in the opposite direction. As I've watched Sammy play, you know, that people just get tired of trying to keep up with her, and you know, she's got so many weapons. But you know, our approach is a team approach, and you know, that's our team versus their team, and certainly you pay attention to you know, who leads in scoring or who leads in rebounds, assists, minutes, so on and so forth. And there's no question that Taylor and Sammy both have been leaders statistically for their team, and I'm sure in other categories that aren't statistical. You know, but we're just going to take a team approach to trying to defend those two as well as all of them, because I think they have you know, some outstanding individuals who don't get as much attention because Sammy and Taylor are their statistical leaders. You know, but you can't overlook Stokes. I think Beach is playing great and has played probably our best basketball here towards the end of their season. Adams is just a big woman that can, you know, really affect the game in a lot of ways. And then, you know, certainly got great players like Ferguson coming off the bench. So I don't think we're going to make the mistake of just going, hey, if we can stop Sammy or if we can stop Taylor, then things will go the way we want them to. We've got to make sure that we're covering all our bases.
Coach, in breaking down the two teams, Ohio State obviously feels that they're not a number 8 seed. Whatever your thoughts are on your club seed, but is this a typical 8 versus 9 seed game?
Well, you know, I think it's probably maybe it will be one of the best first round games that are out there. And I think when you look at whether the teams are deserving or not of their seeds, that's not in our hands. And you know, and so when you've got two teams that their numbers are right beside each other, I think it should be you know, a good game. And I think the thing that gets forgotten, you know, because there's so much hype and attention about who's the number ones and what's the number beside your name, that tomorrow it's not going to make any difference whether our number was 8 or 9 or 2 or 5 or 12. It's going to be Florida versus Ohio State, and that's what's going to be important. And then that's what we've tried to focus on, because you know, our seed doesn't have anything to do with, you know, how good we are or aren't, or how good they are or aren't. You know, it's going to be about how we play tomorrow, and so that's what we focused on.
Coach, I read your website after the selection, and I found out that Sammy had made a visit with you guys, an official visit with you guys, and you recruited her heavily, and you said everybody knows Sammy. But what do you think of her game? I mean, I've covered her for 4 years, and some people don't like it, and Jordan mentioned, you know, the embarrassment factor sometimes, and I didn't know what she'd like. But what do you think of her game?
What I think of her game, I think she's amazing. You know, I've told our kids, you know, as we've tried to get to know them, you know, the only thing I don't think we've seen Sammy do is post up, and she probably can do that too. You know, I mean, she handles probably better than anyone in the country, and you know, great passer, which is you know, evidenced by all the records she's broken at Ohio State and also in the Big Ten. You know, she's just capable. She's a great player. You know, she's capable of taking over ball games, and you know, whether you like her style or not, it's irrelevant. You know, she's a ball player. She's a competitor. Obviously, I would have loved to have coached her. We recruited her very, very hard. She's had a tremendous career, and we know she's going to fight really hard to not let that career be over tomorrow, at college at least. But I've got great respect for her game, her emotion, and the passion that she plays with. And, you know, and I also think that when you look at her over a 4-year period, I got a chance to coach Sammy a little bit, be part of one of the USA basketball teams she was with. I think she's matured a tremendous amount and really understands how important it is for her to lead and make an impact other than just, you know, making highlight plays, which she's also very, very capable of.
Anything else for Coach Butler?
All right.
Thank you, Coach.